Podcast is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and you're listening to the voice of the people. Let's get ready for Boxing Voice.
BoxingVoice.com.
You need that fear.
All I'm trying to do is make a stand for something that I truly believe is right. I truly believe is right. I want to be like you. Come on, man. I'm the face of boxing. I'm the cash cow. I hold the record with you.
My drop, I know my situation. I want to fight.
Production.
But it's going to be very difficult for both of us.
BoxingVoice.com.
Yes, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another Thursday night edition. It is 7 p.m. Eastern time, and TBV is here. Hashtag TBV podcast. We are back to discuss some boxing. And listen, man, 2017 just continues to prove that it's going to be one of the most memorable moments in boxing. Right off the bat, we have Jermell Charlo, the current WBC 154-pound champion, being rumored to be in a fight with his mandatory, a sexy little fight with Erickson Lubin. And then, if that can't get any better, Austin Trout and Jarrett Hurd are said to be on the undercard. We also have to talk Anthony the Dog Dirrell, who's going to be taking on up-and-comer, red-hot, talented, what's his name? Jose Benavidez? No, that's the brother, right? Which was this? Something Benavidez, the one that just knocked out Porky Medina, right? So what gets more interesting is that the WBC is going to be on the line. Now, there was a mishaps yesterday. They said it was going to be scheduled for 9/9, but reports came out today that the date may be premature, but the WBC title is definitely on the line. Anthony the Dog Dirrell versus Benavidez, who everyone has jumped on his bandwagon after his sensational knockout of Porky Medina. And then on the right underneath that, we have to speak of Luis Ortiz and his manager taking to social media, going to the boxing public and having some choice words for Anthony Joshua, calling him something that Matt will read a little bit later. And then Shannon Briggs, everyone's favorite Let's Go champ, back in the headlines. And we have to discuss his suspension for his failed drug test, plus any other headlines that we may have in the boxing world out there. So without any further ado, let me head on out to the Hipster Hunter and get his takes.
DiBiase production.
This is a beautiful performance against a very tough guy in Michael Johnson. How do you feel about it? Fuck that. Conor McGregor.
BoxingVoice.com.
You know me, Larry. From a wicked entrance, from a flip over the rock into a knockout. When the main thing is, I just help the guy. I wish.
BoxingVoice.com.
Yes, the here. Hate beware. We got a ton of stuff to get to. We have Jermell Charlo versus Erickson Lubin. Obviously, we have David Benavidez versus Anthony Dirrell. I think that's an awesome fight. Hopefully, it happens in LA. That'd make me happy. Luis Ortiz's manager taking some shots. Anthony Joshua, kind of surprising. And Shannon Briggs getting a light suspension for PEDs. Can't wait to chop it up with everyone on the show. And can we chop it up with you, Ness?
Well, I say take off, man. Let's start with Jermell and Luben. Right off the bat, I'm going to say I'm a little worried. I like Luben, and we all know that I've been a Charlo brother backer for some time now. So I'm a little nervous. I'm invested in both guys. And obviously, Luben is like 18-0 right now. You know, maybe 14 KOs. And you have to just scratch your head and say, is he ready for this test? Now, Jermell, you know, some of these boxing fans might have fickle memory, but we seen what Jermell was able to do with guys like Charles Ota and Gabriel Rosado. capable fighters. We just seen him, blow out Charles Hatley, and 2 guys before that since his merger with Derek James, the trainer of Earl Spence. Luben hasn't been on this level. Has he shown that he's a top prospect, a red hot prospect? Yeah. But Charlo is a test. He's a good boxer with obviously showing that he has the same amount of power that his, identical twin possesses, who we considered the heavier-handed puncher. And now this Charlo, Jermell, has 3 consecutive knockouts.
Yeah, and I think that that Erickson Lubin could be going in a little bit too deep, too fast. It's one of those where it depends on how you rate Jermell Charlo. Is he one of the best 154-pounders in the world? Absolutely. Is he the best? I don't know, and I don't know who really rates him right there at the top, especially when you have Eslandi Lara right there, and he's a little more credentialed, has probably beat better competition, maybe, I would argue. But then again, it's a great fight regardless. I think it's an amazing fight, but it's one of those where if I use like the Earl Spence test, and that's really like the modern test for is a prospect a contender, and I would say Luben doesn't have a Chris Algieri on that resume. He doesn't. So it's hard to say how Luben's going to handle a Charlo. It's easier to say how a Charlo is going to handle a Luben. But then again, Luben has showed that he deserves to be at the top. At least he passes the eye test. Can he face adversity? Can the Charlo brother give him adversity enough to where we see Luben tested? I think this fight is very intriguing on so many levels. We have 2 undefeated fighters. I think it's going to be an absolute shootout, to be honest. I think both guys are heavy hitters. I think Charlo has definitely changed his style a bit to be a little bit more offensive, to be a little bit more like Earl Spence, a little bit more like his twin brother Jermall. I think this is going to be very, very exciting. I think it's going to be very entertaining. I really have no idea who's going to win this fight yet. I probably need to do some more tape study on both these guys. But it's a fantastic fight. Cannot wait.
Yeah, man.
If it happens.
Yeah, no, this is going to happen. Luben is the story, so, where else are you going to go? And what I like about Luben is that he has personality. He has charisma. Maybe a day ago, I don't know if it was on his Instagram story or on his actual Instagram, he had a video of a chicken. And obviously it had text on the video and it said, chasing these 154-pounders around. And I like that. But I am worried that it's something to like what you said, too much, too soon, especially after seeing the brother Jermall dispatch of a very, very talented, red hot, up-and-coming prospect / contender at the time in Julian Williams, who majority of the boxing media pegged to be a dark horse in this division. And Jermall did what he had to do. And a guy like Williams had to take a step back. But I wonder if that is the type of route that a Luben should have went. Like, and in between the champion and himself, one of those veteran names. Not that any of the names that I'm going to throw out there are the ones that I think, are better, but they're definitely like in between Jermell, right? Like maybe Bundridge is too old, but Bundridge, Vanez Matarosian, who else?
J-Rock.
Yeah, but J-Rock isn't going to take a Luben fight, when he came off of that Charlo fight. And obviously this is
J-Rock had a fight. Are you forgetting?
No, that's what I'm saying. He just had a fight, right? So he wasn't going to stick around and stay without one to prepare for Luben is what I'm saying. And I don't know if now J-Rock is going to if he'll be available for a quick turnaround, but let's just say hypothetically I like the J-Rock fight. Liam Smith, Selchecki is a guy that I believe he got an upset win on Showbox, right? Yes, he defeated Hugo Centennial Jr. So that would have been a good fight for a guy like Luben to say, look, I'm here. I'm ready for Charlo. I said Bundridge. Jack Kukle is someone that Demetrius Andrade beat, hasn't really done much. Diego Chavez somehow was campaigning at 54. I don't know if that last fight, somehow he was at 54. But Michael Soro's a good name. Maybe a Glenn Tapia. But damn, he moved up to 60, right?
Yeah, that's because you're looking at BoxRec, Ness.
No, Glenn Tapia's not even on this list, but I just immediately thought of him because didn't he fight Soro?
Yeah, I believe so, maybe. I
want to say he did. If not, Soro fought Douglas.
No, I think he fought Soro.
Yes, he did fight Soro. So yeah, those are good names. And when they fought, that was at 54. But it is kind of like, look, we were stretching there trying to find other names instead of Jermell, and it was a little bit hard. So obviously, Bundridge not a sexy name. Vainez probably another name people would throw tomatoes at me for, right? So maybe that's why he's going straight at Jermell. Maybe the in-betweens don't make enough sense.
Well, I mean, super welterweight or light middleweight isn't really a deep division. I mean, no one really applauds that division and goes, man, that's a stacked division. I've never heard that. Right? I mean, it's always been top heavy. You always have 4 or 5 guys at the top, and that's it. Really?
I mean, 4 or 5 is good, man. To have 4 decent belt holders, and it's been like that for a while. You know, at one time it was the 2 Charlos, Laura and Canelo, or the 2 Charlos, Laura and I think Cotto maybe. I don't know, but
it's not deep though. That's what I'm saying.
Right now, it's still top heavy though, Matt. In the
heavyweight division, the heavyweight division is top heavy.
In this generation's top, right? Because Laura's still at the top. Jermell is still at the top. Jarrett Hurd thrust himself there by winning the title. Liam Smith is not at the very top, but obviously like I would say a step or 1 or 2 beneath title holders. Right. And like I said, Selchecki, he's a guy that is fringe contender, right? Someone that's on a cusp of getting a title shot. Bundridge probably 3 paces behind guys like Charlo, Andrade, and Hurd, meaning 3 fights, 3 good fights, at the very least 2, Bundridge. Williams himself, maybe, I don't know, 1, depending on who they match him with. But, yeah, man, I mean, I like this fight. I really hope that it gets made. What do you think about the undercard that continues to get pushed back? I mean, this Jarrett Hurd and Austin Trout was something that was scheduled. And I don't know. I question whether or not they're sure this is going to happen in September. If you check Austin Trout's social media, he's like, having family time. He's on the raft. He's out on the river, and he's, doing the dog thing. So, I mean, I don't know. Is there like full-blown training? Did he have to dial it back? Did his coach say, hey, take a week off because of the snag now that this is penciled in allegedly for the 30th, right, of September?
Yep. One, I think it's a good undercard fight. I know it's been pushed back a couple times, but so were other fights this year. Charlo Hatley, for example, was pushed back several cards. It's not for a lack of good fights. I mean, obviously, this was first rumored to be on the Broner Garcia undercard, and look how that card is stacked up. You have Baby Miller versus Gerald Washington, and what's the co-main for that one?
Co-main,
what is that?
No, wait, Miller and Washington is the one that's not going to be televised.
Yes.
I don't know what's the co-main at this moment.
I forget, but I know it's a really good fight. I'm sorry for blanking on it. But that's why they moved it back. I have no issue with them moving it back if there's another good fight to take its spot, and they moved it back a couple months. Maybe there's an injury. Maybe somebody got a little bit hurt. Maybe there's a snag up in negotiations. I don't know. But the fact that they're still talking about these two guys fighting leads me to believe that this fight is going to happen. It just doesn't have a real date or a solid date yet. Similar to other fights this year from Heyman and the BBC.
Trout at this point, Matt, is like a 16-month layoff, if I'm correct.
But Trout has been doing a lot of commentating, and I think he's done an excellent job at it in terms of all the PBC guys commentating. He's probably one of my favorites, to be completely honest. And the co-main event.
How does that help him stay in fight shape?
I'm talking about making money. I'm not talking about staying in fight shape. But anyways, the co-main event for the Broner Garcia card is the other Charlo, Jermall Charlo versus Jorge Sebastian Highland.
Which is a good fight.
Great fight.
I mean, we say good because we know that it means something. It's a significant fight because of the sanctioning body eliminator that is attached to it. Other than that, I don't think that we would be calling Jermall Charlo versus Sebastian Highland a good fight.
I think if it was a main
necessary evil fight, like we know what it is, so it's like, oh yeah, this is gonna happen, and that's gonna cause an effect. So yeah, we need this to happen. Yeah, I mean, have you seen Highland fight?
Yeah,
versus Macklin only, right? Go ahead and lie. Go ahead and lie. No. I'll stab you through this freaking computer right here.
Well, I'm trying to remember his resume. I think I've seen at least highlights of another fight, if not a whole other fight.
This is how a hipster sounds when he's lying live.
Look, I don't have his resume down by heart. I'm sorry. I'm not a Highland stan. So sorry. But this fight isn't a main event, but it's a great card filler. I think it as a co-main event is perfect. And again, Charlo in New York City makes a lot of sense.
The significance of it. It means something, I believe.
It creates the mandatory for the winner of Triple G Canelo.
Exactly. It means something. It's some sort of significance. Speaking of significance and sanctioning bodies, WBC attached the vacant WBC once held and vacated due to moving to the next division in Badu Jack. That title was supposed to pit Callum Smith versus Anthony Dirrell, right?
Originally, yes. Yes.
So Callum Smith said, you know what, I'm going to get in there and get in this World Boxing Super Series and get these official paychecks with some Eastern Europeans that, you know, move the needle in my area, leaving this opportunity for David Benavidez. This is a tough fight because excuse me,
I think it may be a harder fight than Callum Smith.
Yeah, I could see Callum Smith possibly being a more paced fighter, whereas we know Mr. Benavidez is going to bring it.
And plus, he's big. He used to be a heavyweight. He knocked out Porky Medina, which is insane because James DeGale went life and death with him.
Yeah, but we're starting to notice that DeGale doesn't have power.
True. Good point.
And that is what the dog claimed to have on his way up. I remember when he was coming up on Showbox, you know, they would say that he's the bigger puncher out of the brothers. You know, Anthony and Dirrell and excuse me, and Andre. But he has that kind of Michigan Mayweather kind of, you know, stance and maybe fight pace. Again, Medina being a guy that presses the action, but this is like 175. I wonder if Medina, I mean, excuse me, not Medina. I wonder if excuse me,
not 175.
Oh, it's 168. That's right. I wonder if Porky, why I keep saying Porky Medina. I wonder if Benavidez is going to fight in that same manner because Anthony is a better boxer. He's at least uses the jab and he's a little slicker. I'm not, you know, if we're comparing,
Anthony Dirrell is almost like a Lamont Peterson, where yes, he is a very talented boxer, but he rarely utilizes it in the ring. He gets caught up in fights that he shouldn't be fighting. Anthony Dirrell always gets sucked into fights, sucked into distances of fights that he shouldn't be fighting. He
happened with Bika.
Exactly. I think Anthony Dirrell is a very talented boxer, and probably, in my opinion, maybe the more talented brother out of the Dirrells. I think he's more of the complete package, but he gets sucked into fights. And I think a guy like David Benavidez is going to suck him into a fight that Anthony Dirrell should not be fighting.
Now, let's assume Benavidez could get past them. Seems like that's the plan, right? It's like the young kid, the youngest to win a champion. I mean, I think that's the youngest to win a title was like the press release I received. What's the future for Benavidez? Like, where's he go?
He could be the guy.
Yeah, okay, but that's my point. Like, you're saying he could be the guy, but who's gonna notice this win? What's it gonna mean? And what's the next fight?
Well, first off, if this fight's in LA, great placement. David Benavidez, obviously Hispanic, will connect with the Hispanic and Mexican market in LA. Anthony Dirrell, for whatever people want to say, is at least an established name in the division. Boxing fans recognize the Dirrell name, regardless of how talented or how elite he is. So that matters. He's established. If you beat him, let's say in significant fashion in LA, that means a lot. It means that you get a belt. B, you beat another good established name in the division after Porky Medina. You could relatively get fights against anyone else in the division at the top. You could negotiate against guys like James DeGale, Gilberto Ramirez, because you're in a position of leverage almost. You're the youngest champion. I forget the press release, even if it's true or not, I don't know. But there's a line that you can do. There's a selling aspect of you winning this fight as a young knockout artist champion. In a division that really hasn't had that for a while. You had the Andre Wards, the Carl Frochs of the divisions. They really didn't give too many great knockouts. You know, maybe Carl Froch, but definitely not Andre Ward. The Dirrells had never been huge knockout artists. James DeGale, his title reign has not been met with knockouts. David Benavidez could be that guy, and knockouts always mean more to casuals. The next fight, in my opinion, I know the fight that Al and David Benavidez are going to work for. They're going to work towards the Gilberto Ramirez fight because of obviously the Hispanic on Hispanic market there, or dynamic of that fight. But I think the way to establishing yourself is James DeGale. You beat James DeGale, you become the guy of the division. So I think either James DeGale or unifications with the winner of the World Boxing Super Series. Whoever gets that WBA title in the end, that's somebody you're going to want to beat.
But James DeGale, you beat James DeGale, who really knows you? It's
well, if you're talking about nobody in this division is going to make you a star, and nobody in the division above you is going to make you a star, in my opinion. I mean, what is if Dave Benavidez goes up to 175 and knocks out Andre Ward, does he become a star automatically? No, I don't think that.
What? You're crazy.
I don't. I'm sorry.
A Mexican?
It doesn't matter.
A Mexican light heavyweight beats up Andre Ward by knockout and doesn't beat. You're crazy, bro.
I don't think he becomes a star. Well, what level of a star? Again, we have to define what does star mean. What level?
The type of star that Andre Ward can't be.
Well, like a Canelo level or Miguel Cotto?
Probably, because of boxing politics, you know that. You know how it is, man. Andre Ward doesn't get the shine that he deserves, but if someone beats him, they're gonna receive all those accolades for beating everything that Andre Ward is. Do not lie.
I don't know. I just don't know.
I think so. Benavidez beats Ward. Come on, man. That's a huge fight, Benavidez Ward.
It is a huge fight, but it's not a big fight.
Said, that's out of the division anyway. You know what I mean? We do have the World Boxing Super Series out there, and they're going to be creating a couple of fighters because it's not just the winner. You know, some of those losers are going to be entertaining. And like you said, if they're going to build up to a Gilberto Ramirez, which is a top-ranked Bob Arum fighter, man, they're going to be building up for a long time. So they're going to need guys other than just,
not necessarily.
James DeGale. What do you mean? Why not necessarily? Just because they've done business with guys like John Molina?
Yeah.
No.
Absolutely.
No, we're talking 2 franchises, bro. When you're talking Mexicans, especially that big, that's not heard of. That's once in a blue.
You don't think in 3 years we're gonna get that fight? Tops.
I don't know.
I think so.
I don't know. Listen to me. When Bob Arum had another successful, popular Mexican fighter, we didn't get any of those fights until he got out of the contract. Chavez didn't start fighting none of the guys we wanted until he got out that contract. He was being very well coddled over there on Top Rank. The only fight they made while on Top Rank was with Lou DiBella, not Al Heyman with Sergio Martinez. So come on, get your facts right. Just saying. So what exactly is your favorite manager for Luis Ortiz saying?
You want to skip the Shannon Briggs?
Well, I was putting it in like importance.
Oh, okay, that's fine. I don't have the quotes in front of me right now. I just that last paragraph where he basically goes all out on Joshua, saying Joshua doesn't even mention his Luis Ortiz's name. He's a pussy.
Well, why should he? I mean, look. I mean, this is another case of staying relevant because, for one, Joshua's the A side. So why do you mention anyone? But outside of that, he's absolutely busy. He's booked up.
Maybe we don't know.
What the fuck, man? Yo, and that's the thing.
Hold on, very quickly. More and more rumors are coming out that negotiations between Joshua and Klitschko have not been going well.
Fine, but until we have something official that says Vladimir decided, yeah, I'm not taking a rematch, then Luis Ortiz could start saying, it's time for the WBA to mandate my mandatory.
Now he's just getting ahead of the curve in case that happens.
Ahead of the curve.
Hey, you have to be ahead of the curve, especially in media.
He's hitchhiking, man. He left the curb. He's already en route, walking, waiting for someone to pick him up with his thumb out right now. That's what him and his manager are doing. But again, it's no different than.
I don't blame Ortiz trying to get a big fight. He's trying to get Wilder, and that's all dependent on Bermain Stavern. He's trying to get Joshua, and that's all dependent on Vladimir Klitschko.
Listen, I get you the same way I get Jesse Vargas yesterday, saying that Conor McGregor got knocked out. He's trying to get his name in the hat.
This is different.
No, it's the same.
No, it's different. You know why?
No, it's the same.
Hold on. No, you know why? Because what he is saying here is not necessarily untrue. What he is saying here is that I am the mandatory to this guy.
He's not a mandatory.
Time. Hold on. He's saying I'm a mandatory. Jesse Vargas is not the mandatory to Conor McGregor. What the fuck are you talking about? Those are the worst analogies ever. Are you saying that they're both trying to be in the public spotlight?
They're both trying to get it. They're both trying to get ahead of the competition and put their name in the hat for a big fight. That's what
is Ortiz not ahead in the competition against Pulev for the mandatories? I mean, those are the 2 mandatories for Joshua.
Yeah,
Ortiz and Pulev. He should be ahead of Pulev. Come on.
Well, listen.
We hear Eddie Hearn always bring up Pulev. No,
all I can tell you this: a smart commentator once said, not commentator, commenter, right? If that's even a word, like someone in the comments commenting on the show, right? So he once said, Luis Ortiz is closer to the grave than he is to a fight with AJ. I'm just saying. That was
okay that you don't like Luis Ortiz. I understand.
Oh, that's not me. I'm shouting out the chat, baby.
Yeah, for reasons that are obvious. It's okay. You don't like Luis Ortiz.
I love Luis.
He's a threat to Wilder and the entire division. Ortiz is the boogeyman.
You're insane, bro. I want that fight. I think I want that fight more than I want to breathe. I want Wilder Luis Ortiz like yesterday. I mean, they announced that I'm over there just for the press conference, let alone camp. I'm in there. Yo, they was rumoring that. I sent Wilder already the Zilly Zang Bang information. Like, yo, take this 7-foot southpaw, get ready. You know what I'm saying? Because now I'm not waiting no more. I'm gonna start direct. I'm gonna be just like JD's and my man Mark Breland. Know what I'm saying? I know it bothers you.
Anyway,
it bothers you. I know not you, Matt. I'm talking subliminally now. You know what I'm saying? I know it bothers you that me and Mark tight like that. You know, I remember once upon a time I got laughed at and shit. Oh, you don't know who Mark Breland is. Now me and Mark Coochie Crunch having motherfucking buffet breakfast and you mad. Have you met him yet though? No, for real. Have you?
Talking to me?
No, it's subliminal, you silly.
I don't know. You changed up. I'm sorry. I didn't know.
No, but yeah, man, that would be good, man. That would be good. I can't wait for that fight. I mean, we need some good heavyweight fights, especially, you know, if AJ is gonna end the year in a bang. I mean, AJ had that you know, he had that
the fight of the year
of the decade. No, not of the year. People were calling it heavyweight fight of the decade, right? So
maybe heavyweight fight, but yeah. But anyways, I want to ask you a quick question about this. All these Ortiz managers quotes. What do you take? What's your take on him showing so much respect for Wilder?
Well,
like, why is that?
It could be two things, right? It could be true respect, and you gotta respect the height and the range of. Yo, anytime somebody's that tall and has power, you gotta respect that, bro. But he could also just be playing nice. You never know, man. We don't know what those Al Heyman contracts look like, man. It might be a gag order, like, yo, you can't be talking bad about my other heavyweight. Who knows? To be right? Look, who knows?
True.
We don't know. Kanye, where you at? We don't know. I'm telling you, we just don't.
We don't know.
Tell him. Man. Any other headlines? Oh, yeah, you wanted to talk about Shannon PD Briggs.
Is that his new nickname now, Ness? Are you going to officially call him PED Briggs now?
This for today, man. You know, this is sad. I don't even want to report about this.
It's only 6 months. What are we talking about here? It's only 6 months.
No, but it's not the months. It's not the term. It's the conviction.
Oh,
it taints the brand. It taints the movement. And really, his movement was becoming global. It's kind of sad that no one jumped on it. In a way, he truly branded himself. He's like a product of what the internet is and the entrepreneurs that have spawned from the internet, because this is a like 50-something-year-old heavyweight. Like, let's put it into perspective. How much older is he than B-Hop?
I don't have his age in front of me. Want me to get that really fast?
All right, but while you do that, ping pong this one in the inside of your dome. How much better has B-Hop proven to be in his career than Shannon Briggs?
Shannon Briggs is not in his 50s. He is 45 years old.
All right. Well, my second
B-Hop is 52, I believe.
My second question was better, right? It was like, how much better has B-Hop proven to be in his career than Shannon Briggs? You feel me? Like, B-Hop's been to the top of the top in almost every division that he campaigned on, whereas Briggs was, you know,
a very long time.
I think Briggs might have been a heavyweight champ or a title challenger, right? What was he?
He was at least a title challenger. He
definitely a title challenger, but I don't know if he ever got to hold one of those official belts.
We'll look it up very fast.
But yeah, it tainted that, man. You know, his movement was big. It was getting into the homes of
the WBO title.
See, it was getting into the homes of, you know, casual fans, and it hurt. I hope it doesn't affect him. You know, I kind of felt like, remember, I even told you, Matt, man, we might as well get down there early and cover Briggs. You know, I wanted to give him some shine. I felt like, yo, he earned it in a way that I probably dislike on a normal show, but in a way that, like, as a person, I could respect. He's a hustler. He's a hustler. Yo, he made himself relevant. Like, the stalking of Klitschko is going to be forever something that's talked about in boxing, especially since they're two heavyweights. You know, he chased him down in the restaurant, you know, made waves in the ocean when he was paddle boating. That right there is epic. You can never forget that. You know, and you hear Vitaly, I mean, it's not Vitaly, but Vladimir in the back talking about, you crossed the line now. It was hilarious, you know?
Now, does the PED scandal sort of taint all of that? I mean,
what the hell? What do you think I've been saying?
Hold on. In 10 years, 15 years from now, when you bring up Shannon Briggs, is the first thing you're going to think of that video of the paddle boarding and all that, or is it going to be him taking PEDs?
Oh no, man!
Because you can still take PEDs, and the first thing you remember for is not that.
Yeah, no, I mean, because look, boxing is so forgiving, especially with the performance enhancement drugs. So please, I mean, he's gonna do in this 6 months, he'll be yelling, let's go champ 5 times a day instead of 2 times, and we'll probably forget it. I don't know what, but the clock is ticking. He is 45, but he's not a B-hop 45, is he? You know what I mean? Like, again, the skill level, and if not the skill level, that division is just more dangerous to be taking blows at that age. Imagine Shannon Briggs in there with Anthony Joshua.
I don't want to imagine that.
Well, there you go.
I mean, Ness, you have to remember that I was the guy saying that Shannon Briggs should not be talked about because she should not be boxing right now. No, they should not be talked about. But we should not talk about him in relevant fights. We should not bring up him and AJ. We should not bring up him and Wilder. We shouldn't bring these fights up. I feel a little bit validated now. I feel a little bit like I was right. I told you so.
I mean, do you really get to say I told you so without him being, put to sleep? I mean, popping dirty is popping dirty. Like, no one really got to say I told you so with Povetkin unless they were saying that Povetkin was dirty.
You can still say that because Povetkin hasn't had a major fight since. So it's like, yeah, I told you so. Like, Povetkin hasn't done shit since.
Didn't he just knock out somebody we knew?
Who?
Razvan. Like, I know Razvan isn't the top, but we just spoke about that earlier in the show. There's like the top, which are the belt holders. Come on. Let's just work with me. There's the top that are the belt holders. Then there's, the contenders that are on the cusp, that they deserve title shots. And then under that is your veterans that those contenders that deserve title shots make names off of. And then under that are prospects, no?
In theory, yes. But prospects should be ranked over veterans who are basically journeymen.
Absolutely. Only if the prospect is a Luben or Earl Spence at the time.
I mean, the guy that Povetkin fought isn't top 20, top 30.
What? Damn, he wasn't at least top 30. That sounds like a stretch.
Okay, he's at least not top 20.
Look, the thing is, I seen Razvan fight. I seen him fight. I know he's a tall fighter. I mean, obviously, it's not on Povetkin's level, but it's also not the basement, man. We can't act like it's the basement. But look, here nor there, whatever. Other news before we move on to these headlines. Mauricio Herrera got a good fight. And this is what happened with boxing, right? With the inception of PBC, I mean, I know you're gonna know the phrase better than me. It caused like a demand, right? And it also made the networks kind of in charge, they have more options now, right? So it gave a longer lifespan to some of these fighters like a Gabriel Rosado, and in question, Mauricio Herrera versus Jesus Soto Carras. I mean, damn, Carras is starting to be like the new Orlando Salido, but maybe not as skilled as Salido, right? We have to see what he's going to have left in this fight. I mean, but this is definitely like a guaranteed barn burner. Your guy, Slava Shabaransky, is also going to be on this card versus Todd Unthank. I never
heard of him.
Yeah, me neither. But this is Golden Boy, having an outlet with ESPN and needing to make fights. Hopefully this gets them to sign. Two Guns. Maybe that's that guy. Todd might be let me see. Oh, yeah. If he's I always would think to myself, does that sound racist if I say, hey, if he's a black guy, but yeah, if he's black with mad tattoos, then I know Todd Two Guns. He could be either two guys, one from Gleason's or one in the DMV area who goes by the name Two Guns. But I'm going to say this is the DMV one because, Lamont Roach and what's the other guy? Damn. Demetrius Ballard. Those are all Golden Boy guys. And this guy, Todd Two Guns, usually fights with them on their undercards and stuff like that. But yeah, Fantasy Springs fight. Hopefully our man, Aaron Cantu, who I've been seeing in the chat, is going to cover this one. This is look, again, Oh, this is perfect time to do our rating system. Let's see if we remember it, right? Because Mauricio Herrera versus Jesus Soto Carras. This is the rating system right here.
DVR.
Like, this is what? DVR for you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is DVR. But at least it's not a don't watch. So Mauricio and Jesus Soto Carras, you know, they have love from the fight fans because, you know, I still mention Jesus Soto Carras and Mike Jones a lot of times because Mike Jones was this red hot prospect signed to, you know, Top Rank. He was a welterweight, so tall in that division. You know what I mean? And the first fight that he got to kind of his coming out party was Jesus Soto Carras on NBC Sports. And bro, he blew it. No, it probably was like HBO. And he blew his load, bro. First round, he had Soto Carras out, threw everything he could, and didn't get him out. And that fight was hell for him for the next 11 rounds. Then he obviously came back in the rematch and won again, but in a more convincing fashion. Then he got his title shot versus old man Randall Bailey. But the last thing to go on old man is power. And, man, he uppercutted Mike Jones that broke his nose and gave him a bloody nose knockout loss that he didn't come back for 2 years. After that, he lost to Jamie Herrera. So, you know, shit happens in boxing that you cannot foresee. That kid was so tall. He was like 6'2", so big, huge back. I remember there was always beef between him and Andre Berto. Like, the boxing public, man, I feel old. The boxing public wanted Berto Mike Jones. I'm telling you. And Berto used to be like, Mike who? You know, and it fit perfect because it's like that other rapper's name was actually Mike Jones. And it was like Mike who was his song. So it fit perfect. The fight never happened. I still actually want that. They should fucking give us that now. Now that Berto's like, you know, but Berto's name means too much right now. All that being said, Golden Boy working, right? I mean, this is called working, right? They're bringing Shabaransky back too. Slava, yeah, man. We need to get him a soundbite for Shaba Ranks and shit. That Shaba instead of Shaba, change it to Slava.
Is this on ESPN2 or ESPN?
This is Golden Boy ESPN boxing.
Oh, so straight up ESPN. Interesting.
On ESPN and ESPN Deportes beginning at 9 p.m. Eastern time, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
I mean, I was there for Herrera's last fight at Fancy Springs. I covered that one. I forget who he fought, to be honest. He didn't look bad, but he didn't look good. It's going to be interesting because I saw, I think, Carras's last fight as well at the Forum. And again, and he lost that fight, and he didn't look good either. So it's one of those where it might be entertaining, but for those that knew these guys when they're more in their prime, it's going to be one of those where it's not the same. But at least it's two guys, both Mexican, both in a Mexican market. And I think they're at least somewhat recognizable. At least Herrera's recognizable, and so is Carras. But a couple other fights.
LA.
What?
It's a good card for LA.
Well, it's not really LA.
No?
No, that's like Palm Springs.
I mean, it's still Cali, right?
It's still Cali, but like San Diego isn't LA.
But there's a lot of Mexicans there. I mean, it seems like it's rightly billed with
they go to Fancy Springs because Fancy Springs gives them a really good site fee. They have a great relationship with the hotel, obviously, so they get a bunch of free rooms. And plus the venue is pretty small, so it's very easy to see,
right?
I
remember we used to cover the IBF champion Randy Caballero a lot from Nicaragua, and he was signed to Golden Boy at one point, and he was a big draw over there in Fantasy Spring. But it's only like a 2,200 seat arena, I believe. I mean, what I do want to say this again, subliminally talking here. You know, we get accused of being PBC voice, right?
Bring up Golden Boy.
But this is a Golden Boy card. Now, this is truly a card that, had this said instead of Golden Boy on ESPN and PBC on ESPN, and these same fighters be on ESPN under Al Heyman, I mean, I would see writers talking how this is shit. These fighters don't deserve to be on TV. Carras is shot. Mauricio Herrera's never been good for TV. You know what I'm saying? I just want you to see that I am glass half full. I fuck with Herrera. I do. He's like one of those down to earth. I don't know if you've ever seen him at a fight. Like,
no, I've interviewed him a couple times.
Shit-faced it. I've never not caught Mauricio Herrera at a fight that he's not fighting at. Not shit-faced it.
So, funny story with Herrera. After his fight at the last Fantasy Springs event, he immediately went and changed his clothes and wore like this blue, like camo button-up, skinny black jeans and these black boots. He was straight balling, and he was talking to everyone. He had 2 drinks in his hands the whole night. Those things were never empty. He was just like sucking them down. Had a waitress coming and giving him glasses the entire night. It was hilarious.
Yo, we definitely have to talk O.J. Simpson and his release / parole hearing
on TBV Overtime on people.com /ThaBoxingVoice. If you do not know what that is, it is our show after the main show on every Thursday and Sunday. You get an extra half hour to an hour of us just shooting the shit. But anyways, digressing to a couple other fights this weekend before we move on. I believe it's tomorrow. Tomorrow there's a fight on Telemundo, and also BN Sports. Amanda Serrano is defending her title. And there's also a Facebook Live card. Carlos Carlson versus Isaac Zarate.
That Serrano opponent is like a 4-day fucking replacement, bro.
Yeah, but I just want to make note of it.
This is some bullshit with this woman's boxing, bro. You know what they need to do? They need to condense. They need to strengthen the amount of divisions so that some of these women either gain or lose to give it some more competition, bro. She's been in Puerto Rico for like 2 weeks, and I've gotten different press releases from opponent changes, and that's sad because she's running around defending 5 titles. How could you be defending 5 titles? You can't even find opponents that want to fight for them, B. I mean,
I don't know if she has 5 titles. Is she the one that has 5 titles? Or does
the one that have 5 titles or won her 5th title, the only Puerto Rican to win 5 titles or something? Wasn't that what she did the last fight when they both was overweight? I mean, I'm just saying, man.
But anyways, another card this weekend that you're going to have to stream in Tokyo, Ryuichi Taguchi versus Robert Barrera for Taguchi's WBA junior flyweight title, and Jose Argumedo versus Hiroto Kayaguchi for Argumendo's IBF strawweight title. Definitely.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Legends. Those are legends. Those are future Hall of Famers. So definitely go watch those. They are. They're going to be in the Hall of Fame. I will bet you $100 right now. Both those guys are in the Hall of Fame.
Guy Matt gets carried away. Yo, you give a hipster a fucking piece of rope, they go mountain climbing and shit. Jeez Louise. Anything else? Anything else?
Adrian Broner has said that he weighs 144 pounds.
I actually watched the did you see their little 24/7? Shout out to Tom. Is it Tom? Let me get this right, because this guy, you are such a help, my friend.
Me?
I'm gonna tell you, not you.
Oh.
Tom. I think it's Tom from New Jersey. Just double check my DMs. Yep. My man Tom B. He sends me like so many links, keeps me definitely in the know, man. It's like having my own fucking junior editor, bro, sending me the stuff that needs to be talked about, filtering it. And he sent me a copy of Showtime's Ring Resume, kind of like Broner's 24/7, but it's really more of Steve Farhood giving you a like, who is Broner and how did we get here? Explaining the wins and all of that, you know? This fight is so intriguing, bro. I can't wait for next week to finally make those picks official. I don't know which way I'm gonna go. I'm sorry, man. I know people want to believe it's easy to pick Mikey. Man, but I was watching that Roman Martinez fight again with Mike. I mean, he dominated Roman for sure. He did. And even when he got knocked down, he looked to the corner and smiled at Robert. Like, he was definitely surprised. He got caught on the way in. Like, he was throwing a punch, leaning in, and that right hand of Roman was right there. But it's Roman. So, yeah, the stars had to align for Roman, and Mikey had to be leaning in simultaneously while Roman was throwing his right. But Broner's fast. Broner's fast, man. That left hand to the body is fast, and Mikey's pretty basic, man. After watching like 2 or 3 of his fights today, it's just like 1-2, maybe 1-2-3. But it's definitely 1-2. It's definitely jab right hand. He might get sexy and then give you jab right hand, left hook to the body. But I ain't seen that. I mean, like, Broner's the one trying to be flashy. And again, trying to be flashy and being flashy doesn't mean that you're effective. But the athleticism seems to lie on Broner's side. The way that he brings his uppercuts, from where he brings his uppercuts, and just the overall resume. I mean, he's been in there with fucking Porter. I mean, let's do it this way, and obviously it never works that way, and we're getting off topic. This was not even the fucking, this is what I'm saying, this fight is beautiful. This is not even a topic, but like, I know people always say, oh, well, fighter A beats fighter B, doesn't mean he beats fighter C, but do you give Mikey a shot at Sean Porter?
No, but that's not who he's fighting.
That's my point, though. When Broner fought Porter, it wasn't, people weren't like, oh, he's getting, there were some people still picking Broner.
Very few.
All right. You ain't going to pick Mikey, are you?
Possibly, yeah.
No, I'm talking about versus Porter.
Oh, no, not against Porter, no. I don't think Mike Garcia is a true welterweight. Broner.
And that adds to, the mystique of this fight, because Broner's the bigger guy.
Yeah, he is.
He's the bigger guy. Seen
them up close.
Puncher.
Seen them up close and next to each other, you can tell that Broner's just a bigger dude.
He's the bigger puncher, and he's got to be the faster guy. He's got to be the faster guy, bro.
But the one thing Mikey has is that his awareness of where he's at in the ring at all times in conjunction with his opponent.
Never fought nobody like Broner.
It doesn't matter because Broner always has very slow feet.
He has a slow start.
No. Broner always has slow feet. The way he moves is slow in terms of distance covering. He doesn't cover distance fast and often. Often's the more operative word. Mikey Garcia knows how to cut the distance, knows how to exchange at range due to his feet.
But Broner exchanges in combination. Once that fourth round, third round comes around, what?
When does Broner exchange? Oh, in combination. Sorry, I meant he exchanges combinations. Like Broner's never been a combination puncher.
You know that he loves like uppercut, left hook.
No, true, but he's not a combination puncher. I think that's what you said.
What is it? Left hook, right? He loves left hook, right?
Yeah, he's a counter puncher, but now he is.
That's not on today's docket. We'll get to that next week. That's an exciting fight, man. I can't wait for that one. Listen, I guess it's that time. Unless you have anything else, we got to get to these sponsors, get to these callers. What do you got for me?
Nothing. Let's go to the callers. Go to the sponsors.
These calls are brought to you by El Camino Electrical Services, experts in electric vehicle charging stations. For consultations and turnkey installation, visit us at elcaminoelectricalservices.com. Fight fans, don't leave the decision in the hands of the judges. Download the Throwdown scoring app and receive live scoring, CompuBox stats, boxing predictions from other users around the world. Head over to your iPhone App Store or your Google Play Store and download it absolutely free.
Going out to the UK to Alexander the Bully. What's going on, my friend?
Mr. Gibbs, I'm all good, man. Hipster, how are you, bro?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm not too bad, man. First off, I was about to explode on that boy Broner, but I know he ain't on the topic, so I'm going to save it. What I'm going to talk about is that man, Shannon Briggs, because I was deeply saddened when I heard the news when it first dropped about the PED charges, and then moreover, the ban is bad. But I will say this, that man has been an inspiration to a lot of people. Hey, listen, play it if you need to. That Let's Go champ kept a lot of people going in these streets. You know what I'm saying? And he motivated people because he got it out of the mud. That man came from nothing. And when you see how motivated, when he talked to the camera, it's just him, and I think it's like his nephew or something, talking to that camera, you feel it. You feel that you're a champion and that everyone else that he talked to is a champion. So, I mean, he'll get knocked out by everyone in the division, but he's still a champion. And hopefully he come back, get the big fight, get the payday, get KO'd, and leave the game. But Shout out to Shannon Briggs. That man a champion. I'm out.
Alexander, thanks for calling in. We're going to stay in the UK, going out to Giant Joe. Talk to me.
Yo, it's good to hear TBV back.
We're back. They tried to keep us down.
Hey, I was starting to get a bit worried there.
Oh. We're back. Don't you worry. We're back.
Yeah, good to hear you guys. Good to be back on. So what do we got? We got Shannon Briggs has got a 6-month ban. Is that enough? 6 months? Well, what is it? A lot of fighters aren't even active for a 6-month period. Sometimes a year or longer these days. 6-month ban. I mean, that I don't really understand that. That's kind of pointless to me. Charlo versus Luben. Luben's only 21, isn't he? He's a young guy, so it is a bit of a jump up, and I don't understand why he wouldn't go for maybe Jared Hurd. Is a bit lower hanging fruit. Has Jared Hurd got a fight?
Yeah, he's fighting Trout.
Ah, okay, that'd be the reason why. Okay, I mean, challenge yourself. Why not? I mean, I don't hold with the idea of defending an unbeaten record if you can learn something from a fight, and if you can take a lesson, even if he takes a loss, I think it's worth challenging yourself in life. And Luis Ortiz, manager. I mean, I don't have much to say for calling people out. I think it works for fans to hear somebody call someone out, but until I see something announced by management, it's just talk. It sounds good sometimes to call someone a pussy if you've got nothing else to say, or you can't make the deal, or you're not box office, or you can't sell a fight, or whatever the other reason is. You try and appeal to the man's ego, but I think there's more at play than that kind of thing. And that's probably all I got to say. But it's good to have you back on, and I'll catch up with you guys soon.
All right, Joe. Well, thanks again for the kind words. And for anybody that may have been suffering any withdrawal like Joe, remember, you can always follow us on patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice for exclusive content that YouTube cannot hinder. They do not control us over there on that wonderful platform. And remember, you can also support your favorite podcast by just using our Amazon link whenever you're doing any shopping. It costs you absolutely nothing, but we get a little kickback, and you get to feel good about helping the podcast you love stay on the air. So head on over to ThaBoxingVoice.com/affiliate sponsors. Let's go out to Scorsese. Talk to me.
First, I gotta say something to my dude Alex out in Australia, because me and him was the only ones on this train. But this Jeff Horn shit really make us look like geniuses, and everybody else just calling in complaining. So I don't know why I be getting that hater shit. Because at the end of the day, man, I know my fucking boxing. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, Jeff Horn, thank you, bro. Thank you for going there whooping his ass like you did. Secondly, don't nobody want to hear what the hell Luis Ortiz got to say. He had to take his teeth out to say that shit. Old ass. He took step aside money so he didn't get his ass whooped. Simple as that. I want to point something out. Joe Smith Jr. Saturday night got hit with that Superman Stevenson curse like a motherfucker. Jaw broke and shit. Can't even go back to work and shit. But yeah. What else I'm gonna point out? Deontay Wilder.
Hold on a minute, Scorsese. Lawrence Lloyd, please mute yourself until we're done with the other Skype caller.
All right, cool.
You know what's real funny? Deontay Wilder, they won't buy his fight with Bermane Stiverne because they don't respect him. They don't respect Deontay Wilder. They tired of waiting on him. He's never done nothing, and I agree. But they bought Stevenson versus Funfara. Ain't that the same? See, they respect Stevenson. That's what it is. And then they told Wilder to kick fucking rocks. Like, I kind of need some coins for that shit because I'm the only one that sees this. Everybody hates Stevenson, but they told y'all favorite fighter to kick motherfucking rocks, didn't they? Damn, I'm gonna get out of here on that one right there. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, all right, Scorsese, thank you for calling in. Lawrence, talk to us. First-time caller, my friend, right?
Yeah, first-time caller.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and play this first-time caller intro. You can call, let us know your name and where you're calling from.
Ladies and gentlemen, making his professional debut.
Yo, Lloyd Lawrence calling from Bedford, England.
What's going on, brother? What's on your mind?
Yo, cool. To be honest with you, I don't really want to see the Anthony Joshua versus Luis Ortiz fight. Personally, I think Luis Ortiz is a little bit too old to be mixing it up with these young guys. And the performance he put in against Malik Scott was quite embarrassing, to be honest. And Dave Allen, I mean, against someone who is a part-time boxer, he really struggled. He didn't really look that good. I mean, he's got the southpaw stance, he's Cuban, but I don't know why people are getting so excited about him in the heavyweight division, because he's just not showing me anything at all. He's not showing me nothing.
It's got to be the power, right? King
There's
Kong.
no power. The power. There's no power there.
I know. That's what I said when I seen he couldn't beat David Allen by knockout, but everybody, you got to give him a pass on that one, because it's like, oh, he couldn't get up for David Allen. It's David Allen. He'll get up for a Joshua or for a Wilder, et cetera, et cetera.
I don't think he will, because I mean, Wilder and Joshua, they hit much harder than people like Dave Allen. So Luis Ortiz against against any of them two, I can't see it ending well. I just can't see it ending well. So, you've got someone there hanging around in the heavyweight division that people are supposed to be scared of. But me personally, I can't see it. I just can't see it at all. So I don't know where he's coming from. I don't know how he's been marketed. But as far as I'm concerned, as a heavyweight, he's not a contender.
Well, all right, Lawrence, I want to thank you, obviously, for calling in, my friend. We're going to go out to some other callers here. Who do we got? We have Amin in New Jersey. Talk to us.
Fellas, what's good?
What up?
Yeah, tell that nut to make sure he put his Skype on mute, man, and stop busting up the line.
Put your Skype on mute, buddy.
Listen. Great topics tonight. I want to address Scorsese specifically because, even the garbage can gets a steak, man. Because I know I called in the show before and asked, was he trolling with that Jeff Horn shit? So I'm just get out the way. Scorsese, you look like a genius, but even a garbage can gets a steak, bro. Moving on. The Charlos, one thing you can't mistake about them Charlos, man, is that they're trained Olympic-style fighters that has transitioned into great professional boxers. And despite some of their, what some people might consider to be, their attitude, if you will, these guys get better with time. They learn in the ring. I think all of their wins have been progressive. Whether they, 154 is not a very deep division. Ness, you mentioned it earlier, man. I think, it's hard to dust off a Corey Spinks or a K9 Bunbridge at 154 to make a name. But Monte Rosen, I think, is a better fight for somebody like Luben. But when we talk about the best fighting the best, I mean, he's young. So if Luben loses to one of the Charlos, he lost to one of the best, at least at 154. So, let's see if he can go in there with Jack and Sledge and do some damage. I do think it's too much too soon, but it's a very intriguing fight. If he gets that fight though, I think it's not going to be a knockout, but I could see, I could see definitely being a stoppage per se. I just think that he ain't been in there with anybody that.
Go ahead.
Ness.
No, go ahead.
No, I was saying against one of them Charlos, man, one of the Charlos might stop him because these guys can adjust. You know what I'm saying? And we see, I don't even can't tell the difference between the two, but the one that fought J-Rock, I mean, the combinations he was throwing and the movement he used to deliver those punches, that's just somebody that just shows that they can adjust to their opponent. Because J-Rock is definitely no slouch. So, I mean, I could see Luben, the ref maybe stopping it, maybe he not being able to recover from a punch that he doesn't see. And That's pretty much it, man. I know y'all talked about a bunch of other stuff, man. You know, my man Jermaine Taylor, I don't know what's going on with him, but my prayers go out to him, man, because at one point, you know, he beat Bernard. I didn't think that he won the first fight. The second fight was in, but now he seems to be going through some pretty tough things. Shout out to Shannon Briggs. I mean, he's old. You know, anybody over 30, the doctors will tell you testosterone is going down. So it is what it is. I'm out.
I mean, thank you for calling in, Matt.
Yes.
Let's put this one into perspective. You know, while I mean was talking, which is this is why this show is amazing. You know, these callers, they always bring up a different aspect of the fight, right? When you're thinking about Luben and Jermell Charlo and them fighting each other in their next fight, Al Heyman obviously had a plan. You know, in the beginning, there was a lot of criticism for the money, but now we seem to be on what we could only call a low end based on seeing so much of the higher end in terms of purses. But Jermell received on paper, obviously, $100,000 to fight Charles Hatley, which was a mandatory. Now this is another mandatory, right?
Yeah.
So obviously, I mean, how much does he get for this one? And how much could Luben be getting? And if Luben loses, because you heard what Amin said, he said, well, this is the best fighting the best, but do we know if Luben is the best? And I'm not putting out there that you're not the best, Luben. I'm just thinking for your career. How damaging is it to go at a title shot now when the money's already significantly low? Again, if the champion is only making 100, how much is Luben getting? So if you lose, how much are you getting in your next fight? That pay grade goes down.
Compared to Charles Hatley, I would assume that Jermell Charlo is being paid more in this fight than he was the last fight. I would assume that. Based purely off of Luben's name and what he has sort of mean to the PBC brand in a way. That PBC has pushed Luben hard. It's been very obvious that they pushed him hard. He's been on the undercard of very high level, high exposure events. Thurman Garcia, for example, at the Barclays. It's interesting because we did a show about PBC and Al Heyman a month ago, saying that they're going to start fighting the best versus the best more often. We're getting that, and it's one of those where I feel
afraid about shelf life. Like, this is a 21-year-old kid. Let's say Jermell does what probably the most of the top boxing media is going to think, that the more experienced boxer,
a complete boxer as well, in my opinion.
You know, so if let's say he loses this, then they put him in there versus Williams, and he loses that. And this is all hypothetical, but then your career could be probably over, and you made 500,000, maybe. Luben ain't gonna get, I mean, I don't know, man. Let me shut up. I don't know, because I don't want anybody taking my hypotheticals personally, but you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm nervous for this fight. This is a big ass fight, maybe too soon. Like, I don't know.
Well, think about this. A fight that's sort of
that guy that he just fought when he dropped down. Like, who was the guy? All we remember is the drop down.
Jorge Coda or something like that. I forget his name. But anyways, one thing that's been very apparent recently is that Al Heyman has no issue with guys with a loss.
True.
Even fans are starting to change on that. Think about it. Think about how excited the callers were to hear about Danny Garcia versus Sean Porter.
No, think about the 15.
No, very quickly. Just to finish my point. If Luben gets a loss in this fight, first off, I don't think a loss hurts his long-term brand or legacy. And B, I don't think any of us really think that Luben's that sort of boxer where if he takes a loss, he's done, or that he's not this guy. I think everyone knows Luben is good. It was just a matter of time for us. It was, when is Luben going to get a shot? We all knew Luben should be at the elite level. He will be at the elite level. And is he at this point? And again, I think Luben can go in there and beat Liam Smith right now. He can go in there and beat other top 5 guys. Very, very possible. So it's not like a loss means long-term damage for Luben, in my opinion. And also, I would never suspect that he would lose 2 in a row.
And in our world, in this boxing world, Jesus Soto Carras, Mauricio Herrera is going to be live on ESPN in a couple of weeks. You know, and Tank Davis and Orlando Salido was about to be on the biggest combat sports card in the last decade. Orlando Salido having 11, 13 losses. I don't know. He was the runner. He was the lead guy in the runnings to be on Mayweather-McGregor undercard. So, you know, losses don't mean anything to the boxing industry, but it's the casual fan that we're trying to one by one convert. I feel like, you know, Eric Cruz with this one, you know, boxing, you can compare it to religion. You know, you want to convert one person at a time, and it's difficult, but I guess we are becoming more forgiving because, I mean, Gabriel Rosado, right? Didn't he just fight somebody? Yeah, he fought Martin Murray. You know what I'm saying? So,
I mean, how many guys end with the undefeated record? I mean, that percentage is so small that to assume that out of our elite fighters and our elite boxers, I think has always been idiotic. And I think only because of that Mayweather effect, I know some people like to downplay that, but that was a real effect that Mayweather implanted in the public's mind, the casual mind, so often that O meant so much. And it's just a matter of time till that thought goes away, because the greatest boxers in the history of the sport have not been undefeated. Rocky Marciano is not listed amongst the greatest boxers of all time. It's guys with losses.
Very true. Let's get back out to these callers. Who do we got? We got Marcus in DC. Talk to us.
Yo, what's good, Boxing Voice, man? Yo, check this out, Matt. You're right about boxers not necessarily holding on to their losses, but I think what everyone is saying or what everyone is missing or presuming is at 18 fights, does he have enough tools in the tool bags to not leave the fight if he loses a damaged good fighter? It's not about whether you leave with a loss or not. Sugar Ray Leonard was prepared to take a loss against Durant because he had the tools to come back and win a second fight. We're not sure that if Luben takes a J-Rock type of loss to Jermell, that he actually comes back from that. We don't know that. And at 18 fights, we're really asking a lot of a guy. You know, it'd be different if he like a El Chacal, who, you know what I'm saying, two-time Olympian, and you only got like 12 fights. That's different. But we're talking about an 18. We're talking about a dude who didn't make the Olympics, turned pro when he was 18, and now has 18 fights, and he's never been put in a fight where we really had to see him dig in his tool bag to see if he has the ability to protect himself against another high-level fighter in the fight. And that's my concern with Luben taking this fight. Okay? I think there's other 54 dudes who can fight. And there's no real immediate crossroad that has to happen that's forcing this fight. We're not talking about two champions that have eliminated everybody else in their division and they need to fight. And although I'm a great fan of the best fighting the best, I don't know that Luben's one of the best just because he's at the top of the division. I think we're putting him in harm's way because the Jermell brothers, they're banging with each other, and then with Ronnie Shields, who are an old school fighter, even though Jermell went over to Derrick James. These dudes seem to be a little bit more seasoned and got a little bit more tools in their bag than the average dude at 54 right now. And, you know, I mean, I know Jermall went up, but still, they've been training, they've been banging with the Earl Spencers of this world. These dudes might be a little bit more dangerous than Eric is ready for at this moment. However, I want to say this. With the rest of everything else in Shannon Briggs, I'm not going to comment on that. We can't be mad when we don't get any more Broner Garcia fights because we're talking about all this other ancillary shit. And when we mad with this fight only sells 5,000 seats and all this other stuff like Kovalev and Ward 2 does, we're going to have nobody but to blame for ourselves because we're talking about a bunch of dumb shit in between that time. After this fight on the 29th, we can talk about Shannon Briggs. We can talk about Anthony Joshua, who got what hat he got on and all that other shit. But do y'all really understand that there's a dead motherfucking serious fight coming up July the 29th? And this could dictate and change the dynamic of how we see fights, good fights, matching people up anymore. You know what I'm saying? Because these Ward and Kovalev fights, these shits has been so low they starting to say, well, see, y'all said y'all wanted all these good fights, but then y'all don't show up. But then when we drag the shit out and they 38 years old, we get 1.1 million sales. So let's put some energy into these real fighters. Yes, Mikey has a 1-2, but if you know anything about breaking somebody down defensively first, it is the 1-2 that breaks them down for everything else to come after that. And that's what Mikey's going to do. Mikey's going to 1-2 him to death until he does a flaw, then he's going to pop him. We're going to get those picks next week, though. DC, and I'm out.
For sure, man. That is definitely one of those fights that excites me. Dr. Mofongo, what up? He said it very, he put it well, man. You know, it is a little worrisome, you know. And I think to myself as he was talking, Matt, I'm like, yo, what names is he sparring with? Yo, because we know Jermell is sparring with Earl. You know, we know he's sparring with his brother. We know he's sparring with Rob Brandt. We know he's sparring with Cam Awesome. You know?
Yeah, Cam Awesome. Shout out to you.
I don't know, man. And I love me some Luben, B. Like, I'm ready to go back to Florida to work for this one. You know, when we was down there, I was staying in touch. You know, he just had a daughter. And he did have that one day open for us, but Canadian Jose was a little chicken. He didn't want to drive.
That is a long drive. Come on, Ness. From Fort Lauderdale to Orlando, Florida, that's such a long
3
drive.
hours is nothing, bro. How do you think? What do you think? That I get in a fucking, I don't know, flash wormhole and get to DC? DC's 3-4 hours away from me. I just get in the car and go, man. You got to grab an L, get some good tunes. Anything not Joe Buttons.
A couple at least. Come on.
Anything not Joe Buttons, and you got to go, man. You got to go.
Whoa.
Larry, San Francisco.
Shout out to Joe Budden, the legend.
Hey, big ups to the Boxing Voice, and big ups to Marcus from DC. That call was fire, and I completely agree. Let's start hyping these good fights, these good matchups, and let's get them to where they need to be. Hey, thanks for the show on this Luben Charlo stuff. I'm very intrigued. It does seem a little bit too soon, but I want to disagree just a little bit with some of the callers. Luben, in my opinion, is more talented than J-Rock, and Jermell, in my opinion, is not as talented as Jermall Charlo. Therefore, this is a closer matchup in that comparison there. I think had Luben just gotten one somewhat good fight against a mid-range or back-end top 10 guy, I'd give him a good shot in this fight against Jermell. But I think right now Jermell's got to be the strong favorite. However, I appreciate PBC and both fighters wanting to and being willing to get in there, and I want to see more fights like this. I do think this, and I agree somewhat with Matt, L's are not as costly anymore. But part of the reason is the more fights we get on free TV, the more exposure that people get to these fighters, then they'll know them more, and the undefeated record won't have to be featured quite as much. I hope it's going in that direction, and I can't wait to see if that is so. Keep up the great work, and I'm out.
Larry, always a pleasure to have you on, brother. We're going to go from San Francisco to Australia.
No one can stop me, really. Oh, there's a king croc right there. This croc has enough power in its jaws to whip my ass right off. Unique in the sixth round.
You're gonna be the legend to become a legend.
Honestly, it's unbeatable.
You're gonna be the legend to become a legend.
Hey boys, great show as always. Thanks for that. And my quick comments on the whole Luben Charlo fiasco is, look, I think people take it like this whole he's too green thing a little bit too far. Like if I had to ask both your opinions real quick, what would you rank out of the 154-pound division? Where would you put Luben? What ranking would you give him? Maybe third or fourth or something around there, if I'm not mistaken.
Hell no.
No.
Me.
Where would you put him?
I mean, you got Laura there. You have Jermell there. You have Andrade all before him.
Vans.
Hurd. You know,
you put all of them above him.
Liam Smith.
Yo,
They're more accomplished. They're more accomplished.
He's got to beat those guys. How could we say he's better than Lainez has been in there with some good ass fighters.
Man, look,
nobody has ever gotten lucky on Lainez. Like everyone that beat him is a good fighter, man.
Yeah, look, I agree with you, but what I'm trying to say is personally, a lot of the time.
Sorry, that was an ad.
All right. Like the way I see it is, like one fight at 130.
Death ad. You gotta close that page, Ness.
That's not me. That's Alex now.
Sorry. Yeah. When Lomachenko had one fight at 130, he was automatically ranked top of the division. Like with only one win against Rocky Martinez, which is a bit ridiculous. Like I think a lot of it comes down to the eye test. And Luben, as green as he is, I think he's minimum for me. He's a top 6 154 pounder. Like I would put Andrade, Charlo, and Lara, of course, above him. But I mean, let's give him a chance. And I mean, like Mayweather's always putting people's heads that like taking a loss is a bad thing. But let's bring back the glory days where fighters just wanted to jump in with the best and mix it up together. And it doesn't matter how much. Jacobs was a 6-1 underdog against Golovkin, and he put up a hell of a fight. Arguably, to some people, won that fight. So, I mean, being an underdog doesn't necessarily mean you're not going to really put up a fight. I think it'll be a great fight. I think, you know, personally, I would prefer if you have one or two more fights in between. But look, there's too much feedback and stuff. But I'll let you go. But that's my opinion.
All right, Alex.
What is that?
Oh, that's Larry. You never muted Larry.
I muted Larry.
Lies. It was Larry. It wasn't even you, Alex. Come back to us, Alex.
Oh my God, Larry. That was just awful.
Yeah. But yeah, so like I think let's bring back the glory days. Let's trivialize taking a loss, especially if it's up against top 2, top 3 of the division. I think it's just a great thing. We're willing to throw Rigondeaux in there with Nonito Donaeo's 3rd pound for pound at the time. We're willing to throw Lomachenko in there and keep making him climb up division.
Yeah, no,
I mean,
you got these analogies wrong. You got these analogies wrong because Luben doesn't have a Rocky Martinez. Luben doesn't have a Tion Kennedy. Luben doesn't, like all those guys you mentioned, they fought guys on a certain network or on a certain platform that were on a certain level to prove that they were there. Luben, you know, he's on the fast track, but yo, he hasn't been met with resistance, man. He hasn't been met with like he's fought good journeymen, but like he doesn't even have a Jesus Soto Carras type of fighter. There's no Herrera on his resume.
I
like
definitely agree.
There's no resistance.
Look, I definitely agree.
Yo, what's he gonna do when Jermell takes his punch?
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Look, I agree with you. I said I'd prefer he gets 1 or 2 more fights in there, but like it's like Errol Spence, you know, before our jury, who did he really fight? Chris Van Heerden, like, and we were willing to throw him in there with Kell Brook, who I thought is definitely top 3 in the division, but you know, we're willing to throw these Olympians out there. I mean, look, like I said, I think 1 or 2 more fights.
I still think it's a wrong analogy, Alex. Errol Spence had a couple of names. He had Ronald Cruz, he had Leonard Bundu, he had Chris Algieri, and he had probably
Chris Algieri champion.
And he probably had one other name in there before Kell Brook. So we had the eye test on those names. Like Van Heerden, that was a name to me. I've been following Van Heerden for a while. I knew he was the IBO champion for a long time. He was from South Africa. You know what I'm saying? I even interviewed him from South Africa, to be honest with you. You know, and then look, he ended up being the sparring partner of McGregor. It's for a reason. All these little things, the fact that he's the one that fought Earl, you know, so that's a decent fight. Ronald Cruz was a decent fight. You know, Algieri was a good fight. So, again, I don't see that in Ericson, but he doesn't need it, right? When was Mike Tyson? Mike Tyson was like 18-0 when he got his big shot. Did he have anybody on his resume? I'm asking.
I'm not particularly sure. I never was the biggest fan of Tyson like everyone was. I was never too Tyson crazy. But it's exactly as I said. Like I said, I would like him to have 1 or 2 more fights at that sort of B grade level where it's like not a journeyman, but like an Algieri level, like a little bit, a Bundu level, kind of like 1 or 2 more fights like that. Then jump into the Charlo, the Charlo fight. But obviously, doesn't look like that's really going to happen according to the rumor. I didn't really hear the start of the show. I just tuned in now, so I don't exactly know the rumor itself, but I'd prefer him to have 1 or 2 more fights. But like I said, I put him in the top 6. So if any of the top 6 mix it up with each other, I'm a big fan of that anyway. So, we're all going to tune in true. So is it really that bad? But that's my call.
All right, brother. Where the hell is Charles Hatley? Maybe that's what they should do, Matt. Hopefully this falls apart and they give him Hatley and they give maybe Jermell can get Laura now, because Jermell is the one that is with, don't shake your head, no. He's already gone on public saying that he'll fight Laura. That's where you're wrong.
No, not about that.
Oh, okay. So yeah, maybe Jermell should fight. Oh my God, look, and Jamal gets mad at us. Oh no, I was about to say I think they have the wrong picture of Jermell, but no, it's the right one. Yeah, maybe Jermell should fight like Laura for some good money, unification, and Luben on the undercard versus Hatley, bro, because it's a step, man. I just don't want him to take it the wrong way. I'm just a concerned fight fan. That's all. Hatley's he's
it's a good fight though.
It would be a decent fight to see where he's at and all that.
No, not the Hatley one. Hatley needs a tune-up. He got knocked out viciously.
That is true, but
that was like oh my God, like I'm worried about his health now. Sort of knockout. Didn't he go out on the stretcher?
I don't know, man. But let's get Santiago out here before he puts you on a stretcher. Santiago, what up?
Hey guys, what's up?
Nothing much.
Not much here. I've been awake since 6 in the morning because I still have jet lag, and I'm just want to give you guys congratulations to being back on YouTube. It feels good to get those YouTube notifications that say that the show's on and everything. And I'm obviously of the same feelings that I feel that this is too soon for Erickson Lubin. I personally feel that if he had taken a Charles Hatley type of fight and then maybe like an elimination fight with Julian Williams or a Charlo, that would have given us a good indication of let's see how well he really is and how well he'll do against the Charlo, because we saw what happened against Julian Williams. I was there live with JP, Mad, Fern Gully. And he got knocked out viciously, and this is a guy that had been highly touted on Showbox too. So let's see what happens. Hopefully, they give him at least one more fight, as far as I'm concerned, and that fight can ease our worries about whether or not we think Lubinson is ready to take on a fight of the caliber of the Charlo brothers.
That's definitely the route I would have liked, Santiago. But is that all you got for us?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I pretty much feel the same way you do, Nestor, about the whole Shannon Briggs debacle, so I don't want to touch on that, to say the least. Don't really care too much about what Luis Ortiz is calling Anthony Joshua, because, that's all talk, yada, yada, this and that. I probably have more to say on today's TVV Overtime regarding certain topics. So obviously, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Otherwise, that's my call.
See you on Overtime, Santiago. Let's get out to Texas. Class Inbound, talk to us. Class Inbound.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, I got you. Cool. So yeah, Erickson Lubin, Jermell. Yeah, this is a bit early for him, and this could end badly, but I mean, I like the fact, like, who was it that called a couple of calls ago? He said something that I really liked and that I had been talking about. I had said I think I said last year about how we don't appreciate fighters.
like he was right about like the people best fighting the best, how losses aren't starting to mean as much anymore because we're starting to get fights on free TV and people are starting to recognize who these fighters are and they're wanting to see them even if they take L's. I think it's really important that when we do demand the fights that we get, we do support them, because if we don't, then there's no reason to make good fights if nobody's going to watch them. There's no real incentive, because at the end of the day, every sport's primary objective is to make money. No one fights for free just because I mean, they love the sport, but they got to get paid. They have to make their money. They have to make a living. As for Luben, you know, the only thing I can compare this to is probably like Floyd Mayweather when he was going to go fight Jermall Hernandez after only 17 fights. And Gennaro only had one loss, and that was to Oscar De La Hoya. And at the time, Floyd Mayweather, the only guy you could say that maybe was something on his record at the time was like what, Louis Leja or Pep, or like some of these other guys that no one has any idea that they exist. Like he didn't fight anyone special, and Hernandez was seen as one of the best 130 pounders of all time because like he had only got moved up in weight to fight De La Hoya and lost. So who knows? Luben could surprise us, but Jermell should be the favorite, but I'm really excited either way.
Well, Class and Bound, thank you for calling in, my friend. Hopefully you join us on Overtime. We're going to go out to some other alumni. Remember, if you're listening to this on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button. Helps with the visibility of the show. Make sure you turn it from gray to blue. We really would appreciate that. So let's go out from Texas to Cali.
Mr. Info Joe. Tell the truth, Joe. Tell the truth.
This portion of the show we call In the
Mr.
Know,
Info Joe.
presented by my brother.
Tell the truth, Joe. Tell the truth.
Yo, yeah, y'all had a lot of great callers on here tonight, but you know it ain't no show without Info Joe. What's up, Boxing Voice? Yo, let me burn. First of all, let me talk about Jermaine Taylor, man. You guys remember when he got knocked out and I think he had bleeding on the brain and he wasn't supposed to come back and fight. I think that guy had some kind of brain trauma from boxing, and just like football players have, where they donate their brain now to study it. The guy didn't start acting crazy until after that, if you guys think about it. But hope he gets better. Wish him the best of luck. But I think he's gonna do some real time this time. But on to Jose Benavidez versus Dirrell. I like Dirrell, man, but I became a big fan of Benavidez, man. The dude, man, he throws combinations, maybe a 6-punch, 8-punch combination, like as if he was a 130-pounder, man. And that's rare for a guy that's that big to throw that many punches. I think he's going to reign in that division, man. I like Dirrell, but I think I'm going to pick Benavidez in that fight. Luben, I remember when everybody called in for the Charlo J-Rock, and everybody was going off J-Rock. I like J-Rock, but everybody was going off the eye test. And then remember what I said, the dude ain't battle tested. I like J-Rock, but Charlo is battle tested, and I feel the same way about Luben. He's not battle tested. I would like to see him in there with like a Tony Harris or a Lainez before he gets in there with a Charlo, man. Because I think at that age, who was that? Marcus from DC said it could ruin the kid because he's so young with that amount of fights. What else? I think that's it, brothers. Hey, you listening to the voice of the people? There is no equal. The Boxing Voice. Hit those thumbs up. Become a Patreon. Peace, family.
All right. Well, Info Joe, thanks for calling in, brother. Let's get out to everyone's favorite IG Master.
I won't deny you.
Dollar DiBiase Productions.
Come with me. Hail Mary, run quick, see what do we have here now?
BoxingVoice.com.
Dollar DiBiase Productions.
Well, yeah, what's going on?
Boxing Voice cannot silence the voice of the people. So, Matt, yes. Hey, man. Boxing is in a great place right now, man. I mean, they're bringing back Herrera, Soto Carras, Rosado's always in the news, always getting potential fights. I mean, sluggers get rewarded. That's what we want to see. Sometimes we like the finesse of the sweet science, but sometimes, we want to see that brutality. And so they give us that, and so they get their shots over and over, man. And then, Victor Ortiz, Fernando Guerrero on the way back on July 30th. You got Super Bad Estrada. She's fighting tomorrow in Anaheim, California. That's right there in your parts, Matt, LA area. Mm-hmm. And then, boxing's such in a good place right now that there's like 2 good fights that no one's even going to watch. The Cotto Kamagai, August 26th, and then the Mikey Garcia on the 29th is wait, I'm slipping. The Cotto Kamagai on the 26th. No one's gonna watch that, of course, because of the Mayweather. And then the Willie Monroe, Billy Joe Saunders on the 16th. That's where I got the dates wrong on that one. The 16th. No one's gonna watch that one because of the Canelo Triple G that not too many people seem to be hyped up about it. I hope people haven't forgot that we got Canelo Triple G. I mean, this is a great year of boxing.
Hey, Alex, how far is the snack facility from you?
Snack?
Yeah, ain't you in the Bay?
Snack?
Is he in the Bay?
Nah, I'm in Central.
Oh,
I never heard of the snack. I'm over here in the Central Valley.
Yeah, the Victor Conte gym.
Oh, you talking about? No. You talking about Victor Conte? You talking about snack? Okay, SNAC. Yeah, I got you. That's about 2.5. My bad. I thought you were saying snack, like a potato chip bag snack.
Yo, get your mind out of the kitchen and the cupboards, man. You hungry right now?
Oh,
I was.
Real quick. Let me cut you real quick. On that one right there. You know that I sent you that picture of me standing on the scale at 195, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Right now, 2 days ago, I weighed in at 176, bro.
Uh-oh, he coming for Jose.
I'm going for it.
He coming for Jose. Everybody trying to make weight for Jose. They see an easy title. Yo, Alex,
so you talking about snacks? You talking about Andy Vences?
Well, no, I wasn't talking about Andy Vences, but I guess you could get Andy too if you go see Willie Monroe, who's training in the snack facility, getting ready for Billy Joe.
Okay, because Andy Vences fights August 5th on the Loma card too.
I don't know, but I knew you knew, and that's why we combined forces. We like Mayweather. Voltron. He was corny as hell. Now I'm not getting into the fight for calling him corny. Yeah. Voltron.
Hard work.
Yo, he was funny.
That shit was funny as hell. Hey, great talking to you guys, man. Great talking boxing. I love it.
All right. Alex, thanks for calling in. Let's get out to some other callers. Who we got? It's hard to yell when that bat rattles.
Long Beach in the house. Yeah.
Man, yo, it's good to have y'all back on the air, man. Missed it. So I'm going to start with Luben Charlo. I don't know where this sentiment of boxing fans not wanting the best fight possible comes in. Like, we call in and we start talking about, it's too soon for him. And, it might fuck up his whole psyche. And going forward, he might be a broken fighter. That's not my shit to care about. I'm a consumer. That's for his fucking promotion. And those guys who get paid for that, that's for them to care about. I just want to see the best fights you can make. And if you're willing to give me that, and I will admit, probably prematurely, I'll take it every day. I'll take that baby at 6 weeks old. So yeah, absolutely, give me that. The network narratives. Now, if I called in back whenever the whole PBC thing fell through, and I said, okay, you're going to see this Golden Boy thing. They're going to offer us terrible cards, and it's just going to be there how Friday Night Fights was just there for a decade, and nobody said shit about what we got. But, dude, it's a reason why Al Heyman never let you guys see who he is. To this day, nobody has ever seen Al Heyman. Ask yourself why. And then you got dudes out there like the other so-called boxing journalists, and they're just giving you the new narrative. Oh, you guys are so stupid for actually thinking this is supposed to be premier fights. This is prospects. You guys are dumb for even criticizing. You should understand this is prospects. You get the full story on the fighters. Look here, man, we don't want that shit at all. So forget that prospect fighter. This is not considered premier fighting. We want the good stuff. Broner, Garcia, from the get-go, I just said Broner's the bigger, stronger, faster guy. Period. Just period. And so what everybody's going on with Mikey is, oh, Adrian is going to be unprepared. Well, that's hypothetical. But what is a fact is that he's the bigger, stronger, faster guy. And most times, I lean that way with Broner. I think he's been in a long training camp. He knows his career's on the line. He's going to bring it. Now to the fun stuff, guys. Jay from Orlando. I heard all that stuff. Matt, can you give me who the fuck is that guy?
Who the fuck is that guy?
Hey, straight up. Talking about resume between the two of us? Knock it off, man. Give me another who the fuck is that guy?
Who the fuck is that guy?
That's my nigga Matt. But yeah, though, man. No, anytime, man, we could do it. It's absolute fun. You guys just got to let me know ahead of time. I got a real job. I'm a real ass dude with like kids. So for me to put that time to the side, you got to let me know. But for sure, DNS, I heard I got to go to him to get through you. Now, I love you. And ain't nothing bad in between. I love the movement. Your movement means more to me than just boxing talk. It's an inspiration. So, but you gonna get them hands too, Ness. They coming to you. Straight up. Hey, good night, y'all. Have a good one.
I tell you, Jay, there's nothing more than I want than for you to get in there with Jay from Orlando, create a heavyweight, you know.
Had your kids, had your wife.
You know, all the issue that I have, you know, I'm gonna leave it for overtime because those are overtime topics.
Anybody can be beat.
Matt is the bad guy in all this. Is all I'm gonna say. Matt is the bad guy.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Yeah, that's all. That's all Matt cares about is entertainment. But let me get out to some other callers.
JD, motherfucker. There's a lot of things I like to move, so just try to get on my games on my man down. I don't know why they gonna call me because I'm a 54-pounder, but I have a brother that's at 160.
Yo, let me get the gun shot, Matt.
Everybody be saying Matt like he on point with the sound bites. You know what I'm saying? JP, hey JP, just know that all those who the fuck of that guy, those was me. Matt Fingers is fat and slow.
I have
well, let off some machine guns real quick. I was about to say, damn, you slipping, man. That's for JP, man. You gonna have to get off my boy Jay from Orlando.
Oh, it's really about to be West Coast versus East Coast on the next Border Wars.
Stay in your lane. But yo, Charlo, Luben. You know what? In a perfect world, I know Charlo just fought Hadley, right? So Hadley wasn't under no PBC promotion. I know the fight with Jermell and Andrade get happen. You know what I'm saying? I would much rather see that fight. Andrade is more proven. You know what I mean? That's a fight, you know, like I said, in a perfect world, I would love to see that. And I would like to see Luben, you know, bro, that he's a good fighter. You know what I'm saying? I just know that he'll lose if he faces Charlo. He's like, you know, he's more seasoned. But yeah, man, we're gonna have to start calling for Andrade to get in the ring with one of these Charlos or somebody with a name. You know what I'm saying? So man, that's all I pretty much had. I didn't have what was another topic?
Matt, fill him in.
Next topic will be Shannon Briggs, 6-month suspension. What else? Fuck, I forget. Anthony Dirrell, David Benavidez is not official yet, and Luis Ortiz, manager, calling Anthony Joshua a pussy.
Oh well, nah, none of those. The Benavidez against Dirrell. Listen, Dirrell, I think they got as far as they're gonna go. I just don't. They're a good fight. I just think, you know, I don't know, man. I don't lose faith in both the Dirrells. So Benavidez, I would definitely pick him in that fight. But yeah, man, as far as Luben, man, get in there with somebody like Harrison. You know, one of them guys that he can. I would rather see Luben Trout. You know what I mean? I know he got a fight already, but you know, I just want to see Luben grow. Maybe one more year, and then put him in there with, like, you know, champions.
Nah, you can't do that. You can't do that with JP. You know what I mean? Best got to fight the best right now. Ain't no growth process. 503. You're live with TBV. Who's this? 503. 503. Go on, Uno. Go on, Dos. 503. About to keep it moving on you. Matt, who was that?
That's Josue from Lower Oregon, I believe.
Oh, I ain't hear from Josue in a while.
Yeah, that is Josue from Oregon.
Josue. ¿Qué pasa, mano? Amigo.
It's that good weed over there in Oregon, you know?
I see.
It happens. It happens.
Okay. Well, Matthew, guess what time it is?
Time for that outro.
Not necessarily, but you can start giving us your
final thoughts.
Your final thoughts, your outro thoughts.
My final thoughts. Jermell Charlo versus Erickson Lubin.
Lubinator.
An amazing fight, in my opinion. You have Jermell Charlo, who's beating guys like Vance Martin-Rosen, who's beating guys like Gabriel Rosado, who's showed us something. Erickson Lubin really doesn't have those names on that resume yet, so it's going to be a very intriguing fight. I think Erickson Lubin's always been a guy we have touted as being sort of like one of the next Charlos in the division, in a sense.
The public wants me to interrupt you in full census and say,
again,
you update that Google sheet.
Well, by update, do you mean did I put the old OG list on it? No, I have not. But I have both lists. I don't know why you're bitching. I have them both.
Not me. The public already knows. Look,
I don't know why the public
emoji face. I just got an emoji smiling with the tears. They know already, man.
No one ever mentioned that until you did. No one cared. You know why?
Now they know. Now they know that I've been begging you to do it for like a year.
It has not been a year because I haven't been with the company for a year.
Exaggeration always sounds better, bro. What's up with you? Get with the program.
Hold on, very quickly. Some housekeeping notes. Bama Boy in the chat asking a very important question about TBV Border Wars. Can the $1 group see it? No. Border Wars is for the $5 and up tier on patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice.
Won't be out until Saturday due to our videographer canceling, and now we have a secondary, pro bono guy in Enrique. So, unfortunate lie.
But anyways, back to my final thoughts, digressing, as I like to say. Jermell Charlo versus Erickson Lubin, fantastic fight. I would love if Jared Hurd versus Austin Trout is on it. That would make a lot of sense just for the division. Could definitely set up the next sort of opponent for the winner of the main event. Anthony Dirrell versus David Benavidez, I think, needs to happen in Los Angeles because I want to cover that fight. Me and Kent too. We're gonna go kill that event. WBA suspending Shannon Briggs. Sorry, dude. You tested positive. You got 6 months though, so count yourself lucky. And Luis Ortiz's manager, I like it. I like the fact that these managers / sort of team members of these Cuban fighters are really starting to take an active stance and promoting their fighters. Shit talking. You know, I know some people don't like the shit talk, especially from guys like Rigo or Luis Ortiz, but I like it. I think it's the only way they can sort of get these fights because they are dangerous opponents. And Adrian Broner, 144.
Rigo's campaigning hard, bro.
Hard, and he's not getting shit, dude.
Every post is like Rigo Loma 2017.
Dude, he should honestly just stop it. I love you, Rigo. And I know you listen to the show. Hold on, very quickly, because I know Rigo listens to the show and he loves you, Ness. He does, because he even shouted you out on Twitter. I think Rigo needs to go for a 126-pounder. Go for Frampton again. Go for Jesus Cuellar. Go for guys like that. Abner Mares. Try to get those names. I know that's still a long shot because they don't want to fight you either, but you got to start somewhere. You got to get some better names on your resume. The only guy in your division is Jesse Magdaleno, and that doesn't do anything for your legacy, just to being honest.
Top ranked name anyway. He ain't getting that.
Exactly. And anyways, you can find me, Matt the Hipster Hunter, on Mixed Combat News on Twitter, Matt Hunter TBV on Instagram, and my MMA podcast, Mixed Combat Radio. It's on Patreon, SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes, etc. Should be doing a show either tomorrow or Saturday for the Weidman Gastelum card on Fox. Peace.
Who the fuck is that guy?
That's really sad, but it's okay.
And my final thoughts are, unlike
very quickly. So I don't mean to cut you off, but I actually do. We're just gonna go cold outro. No music, no ramp.
I mean,
it just doesn't feel the same.
Doesn't feel the same.
It doesn't. Yeah.
Yo, I'm rapping on the track.
Anyways, hold on, very quickly before you go. Any final thoughts? Catch us on TBV Overtime in about 8 minutes. On Patreon, so definitely go to patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice to get that extra hour of content exclusively to Patreon members.
On the outro, I'm about to hit the beat. On the outro, yo, final thoughts. My man Lube, I ain't want to see him get done in. Nah, man. Final thoughts is it's gonna be pins and needles, baby. Pins and needles for me. When this fight actually takes place with Luben and Jermell. I get it. I get Jay and his way of thinking and some of the other callers, you know, and the fact that they don't need to be invested in the fighter, but I think that's what makes us come back. That's what makes us turn our television on when said fighter is on, is the being invested in them, watching them grow. I mean, at least it is for me. So it does have me a bit nervous to see what is going to actually take place, man. Can he live up to his own expectations of himself? Or is it going to be a setback? And, I think of it now, obviously, since seeing Julian Williams, who just looks so good. And Jermall really separating himself from the pack with that win in that fashion, because that was the win that the public wanted. We wanted them two to fight. And, the way that he did it, he was like, yo, this kid's not on my level and I'm going to prove it. And yeah, he proved that. So it's going to happen with the Lubinator here. I guess with Shannon Briggs, I think I said my piece on that. It's just a disappointment. Not for me, just for him. I think he was able to build something at the end of his career. And it's sad that this may taint it. Hopefully that isn't the case, you know, so that he could continue. As far as Luis Ortiz and his manager, I don't know, one of the callers, JP, JD, somebody said it, maybe Santiago, it's like, you know, whatever. It's just a manager talking. He's doing what he's supposed to do. Doesn't really mean much. But damn, I can't wait for this Charlo fight. I'm telling you guys, I hope we get to hear some official news pretty soon. September 30th isn't too far away. It really has me at a loss for words because I could think of so many other options for Erickson Lubin to go, like we said, you know? Go ahead.
I only bring it up because it's an OG caller. Big brother Doomsday is on the line. I want to go to him.
Doomsday.
I got him.
Yo, what up, though?
What up? What up?
Y'all can hear me?
Loud and
yeah, we got you.
And hey, Marcus from DC, man, had good points, man. Like, you know, that the UFC model might work. I know it's a cliche at this point, but honestly, people seeing boxers on free TV makes a big deal. Omar Figueroa knocking out Robert Guerrero on national TV was awesome. And I think the Mikey Garcia fight with Broner is a big deal. But at the end of the day, if we don't pay for them, it's a problem, bro. Like, if you're not watching and then people are not going, it's a problem. So, I don't know, but I feel like everything Al Heyman is doing and boxing is doing in general is moving in the right direction. People say that the Mayweather fight don't matter to boxing or UFC, and it's not true. Mayweather makes millions and millions, almost billions of dollars. He makes every fighter he touches money too, and his exposure to the world makes boxing bigger. You know, so hate it or love it, you know, don't respect it, but you gotta do that. You know what I mean? So I'm thankful for him to come back to do that, to shine that light. You know, somehow if Canelo, Triple G get ringside seats or get any type of chatter, they can definitely help to move that fight forward. And once this fight's over, they'll have their shine. So no one worry about that. Real true boxers know how big that fight is too. But you know, everybody likes a spectacle. Place your bets, get that money. Love to the Boxing Voice. Have a great night. Thank y'all.
All right, big brother Doomsday, thanks for calling in. Listen, we're going to keep it short. It is time for overtime in a little bit, so join us on patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice. Join us for a cup of coffee as we talk a little bit of everything. We're going to get crazy over there. I'm your host, Nestor Gibbs. Find me on Instagram and Twitter at NestGTO. Matt already told you where he could find you. You guys already know you could always join us.
Join us every Thursday and Sunday live at 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
And do us a favor, drop us a 5-star review on iTunes if you love this podcast and give us your rating. I want to, say peace, I guess. Have a good night. Bye.